Hey everyone, welcome back to VCHQ. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into the exciting world of manufacturing technology via the Internet of Things with Glassdome. I recently had the opportunity to interview Simon Kim, the founder and CEO of Glassdome, and I'm excited to share his insights with you today. First, let me give you a quick overview of Glassdome. They're a startup that bridges the gap between cutting-edge data analysis and legacy manufacturing systems. Essentially, they're making it easier for manufacturers to adopt technological tools that can dramatically increase their operational efficiency and sustainability. To understand Glassdome's vision, let's start with Simon's fascinating journey from Stanford to revolutionizing modern manufacturing.
Went to same high school as you. It was obviously Petty. Graduated from Petty, went to Stanford, studied computer science. I studied a bunch of other engineering disciplines, but ended up graduating in computer science. And then worked at a startup called Aware, building IoT service for air quality monitoring. It was both consumer and business, and later became more of a B2B company. And I learned that IoT data can be quite useful, especially to businesses. So right before pandemic, I decided to start my own company. At the time, I just knew I wanted to focus something on something industrial. Just because Korea has big industrial footprint, like manufacturing, and I want to marry something between what I could leverage being a Korean, being a Korean person, and what I learned at Aware, basically building IoT tech stack and building IoT software.
What's particularly interesting about Simon's journey is how he combines Silicon Valley technological experience with his understanding of Korea's industrial strengths. This unique perspective led to a powerful thesis about the value of machine data.
What we do is we build manufacturing operations software, and we use it for two main kind of business problems. One is doing product carbon footprint um, for manufacturing companies. The other one is streamlining operations in manufacturing. So for operational excellence, we call it continuous improvement. But those two are kind of our main business lines. We started with a thesis that this automation equipment data, like the machine data, can be of great value. So that primary, like that mm, um, actual real-time data from machines, um, we were focusing a lot on that with the thesis that this could unlock a lot of the productivity gains um, and such.
Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is it that Glassdome solves? When Simon talked with manufacturers, he discovered fundamental challenges that were holding back the entire industry.
A lot of the common stuff that I heard from these folks, not just this company, but other companies, was that they want to know more about what's going on in the machines, but they're all trapped in these controllers called PLC, like a programmable logic controller, it's called. And these are kind of like very dumbed down computers that were invented back in maybe 70s, 80s, and then in charge of automating the line, but not really meant for obviously sharing data across different platforms, or obviously not meant for sharing data in the modern software world. So leveraging the data that's being generated from these machines was a big challenge for them, and also very important for them because it touches upon their operations, their bottom lines.
The complexity of this challenge becomes ever more apparent when you consider the scale of modern manufacturing operations. As Simon explained, it's not just about individual machines, but entire systems working together.
Having a holistic perspective and monitoring on just hundreds of machines that you have in your factory, at your site, makes a big difference because without such technology or system in place, you're relying on people to just kind of intuitively know how these machines are being leveraged. So one might think it's, kind of an easy problem, and why isn't this solved already? Is actually quite difficult problem for these companies because they buy machines from different vendors, and all these machines are bought at different times, for different purposes, and they all have different protocols. So it's not a given thing that all these machines will just talk to each other and the data will be all cleaned up for you to process as manager of this manufacturing process. It's actually a quite difficult technical challenge to solve. And that's essentially what we're solving.
One of the most interesting aspects of Glassdome is to which degree they can handle different types of manufacturing processes. Simon shared an illuminating example that Glassdome is perfect for.
In industries, they call it different names, but one of them is mixed model manufacturing. So MMM, or like in classic books like Peter Drucker's books, he used to call it like the new way of mass production, as opposed to like very homogeneous mass production, where let's say you're making Coke bottle, or Cokes, and it's like a very homogeneous process, right? You just like have glass bottles and then inject Coke and then package it and out the door. Same products all day long, 365 days. But we do thrive in manufacturing processes where uniform parts are used, but to make different custom products for customers.
The distinction between traditional and modern manufacturing is crucial for understanding the future of the industry. Simon offered a practical example.
Let's say it's a forklift company and you have uniform parts, but you have different SKUs, like, the different product lines, and you want to best utilize your machines and also your labor to produce as many goods as possible in a given day. So highest throughput you can have with lowest mm, lowest cost, obviously, and the cost is usually with the ingredients or the raw materials and labor. So best utilization of the machines, labor, with the given resources, the inputs you have, gives you best profitability for these manufacturing companies.
As Glassstone grew, they faced the challenge of expanding beyond Korea. What's remarkable about their approach is their ability to scale while still being responsive to differing market needs.
Just to admit, like, we're not that big of a company. We're just still 45 people, and I would say still quite early stage, relatively small company. But I would say we did scale from just a handful of clients that we were working with in Korea to larger number of companies and also across different geographies. Um, with mostly with the funding that we had. So obviously the investors that we talked to and were aligned with our vision, gave us the capital for us to scale the team, and with the scaled team, we could approach more companies and more customers.
This expansion wasn't just about entering new markets. It required a sophisticated understanding of varying regulatory environments. Simon explained their approach to staying on top of regulations.
We are investing proactively in, for example, European market, because that's where the most of the like manufacturing or carbon footprint related regulations are coming from. So we want to be closer to where things are originating. That's why we're opening a German entity right now. We recently opened one last week, actually. So we'll be operating probably by end of the year or early next year. So yeah, with the capital that we got from investors, we are proactively investing in areas where we can grow, and mm, yeah, gain some market share.
One of the smartest aspects of Glassdome is their approach to partnerships, especially in navigating complex regulatory environments.
So at first, we were mostly hearing from customers themselves about these regulations. For example, one of the I can't really maybe name the company's name, but like one of the largest companies in Korea, the conglomerate, it's EV battery division or company. We were in talks with them, and then they basically said this problem of uh, complying with this new regulation from EU is one of the biggest problems that we have. So we started looking into that. And then, so other companies also echoed that kind of concern. Then we started to pay attention and do more research. That's kind of the general direction that we followed. After that, once we have a good grasp of which direction we want to go, we were lucky enough to partner with companies like Lloyd's Register, QA, LRQA. It's one of the largest kind of certifying companies in the world. So they're obviously very keenly aware of all these regulations, because their business also has a lot to do with helping their customers comply with these regulations, whether it be safety or environmental impact related regulations. So we also learn a lot from them by partnering with them and just kind of exchanging information.
With sustainability becoming increasingly important, I asked Simon how Glassdome differentiates itself in an evolving market.
The product carbon footprint category itself is very nascent. So that's a big differentiating factor for us. If you look at other manufacturing operation software companies, I wouldn't say many. Most of them don't touch upon this topic. So I think it's by sheer luck that we talked to some of these, very large companies and we learned about this early on, and we're doing something about it. Another way that we're differentiating is that we don't have to rely on third parties to tap into these machine data. Just allows us to serve so many different kinds of, especially small to medium-sized businesses, where the bottleneck or the hurdle they have to jump over is the fact that they have to invest quite a bit of capital to get these projects started. So the differentiating factor on the technical level is that we can be more nimble and service more customers by actually tapping into their machine data. The business values, I think, will be shown with the, again, scale and impact that we're having across the industry. So
The role of venture capital in Glassdome's journey goes beyond just the funding. Simon explained how venture capitalists have contributed to their growth.
we raised about 13 million from last round Series A from hard to say some of the, I would say, best VCs got investment are very respectable VCs. So we're very grateful to partner with them. And obviously, capital provided gives us um, a flexibility and also just sheer capability to expand. We're in a pretty unique position of having started with attraction in Korea and trying to replicate that across the globe. It would be amazing to kind of hear from whether investors or mm, people in their networks to get advice on how to organically grow in this kind of pretty heterogeneous like landscape.
Looking ahead, Glassdome has ambitious plans that reflect their technical capabilities as well as their dedication to sustainability.
We want to stay in manufacturing, and that's kind of why we exist. So we want to help manufacturers build our vision statement actually says help every manufacturer build sustainable and abundant future. So we're in 5 to 10 years, we want to become a manufacturing operations software category leader. So when you're looking at software for improving your operational efficiency, but also try to meet your sustainability regulatory demands or internal initiatives. Hopefully, we are kind of go-to software for that.
Finally, I asked Simon what advice he would give to entrepreneurs, particularly those from South Korea looking to have a global impact.
Well, advice. I'm not sure if I can give any advice. I'm still in the middle of trying to figure out a viable path for us. So, but I just wish to see that there are more entrepreneurs out there leveraging what we have as kind of Korean entrepreneurs. Korea as an economy is kind of a miracle economy, such a small land, almost zero resource. And yet we've produced a lot of great companies as like a nation. A lot of world's like leading companies in their respective fields are Korean companies. So I think just building on top of that, and building other great companies to either service those companies or expanding upon the success they have had is kind of an obvious path forward. And that's, kind of what we're trying to do with Glassdome as well. Focus on industrial impact, especially in manufacturing industry. So yeah, that's kind of my personal wish to see more people doing the same thing.
To wrap up, here are the key takeaways from our conversation. First, the manufacturing industry is ripe for disruption. with legacy systems holding back efficiency and innovation. Second, IoT has the potential to dramatically improve both operational efficiency and sustainability. Third, scaling globally requires deep understanding of local regulations and market needs. And fourth, venture capital plays a crucial role not just in funding, but in providing valuable insights. And fifth, leveraging local strengths and expertise can create powerful global solutions.
Simon's perspective on leveraging South Korea's industrial strength to create global solutions is really inspiring. It's a great reminder that sometimes the best startup ideas come from fully understanding the problems and solutions of your local ecosystem and finding ways to scale them globally. What do you think about the future of IoT in manufacturing? Let us know in the comments below, and if you're interested in IoT, startups, or venture capital, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, this is Alex from VCHQ signing off.